Hi, hello. Welcome to another episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is April the 1st, 2024. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing terrible. I'm doing horrible. I'm so miserable. April Fools. No, I'm fine. It's been a really good day. Let's see. Hopefully, you got that lasagna. Hopefully, you had a good day as well. Let's see. What I had to report about my life, my daily, since we last were on here. Not much, like work was work. It's pretty breezy. We got to hang out with some of the maintenance, talking about life or whatever. So that was nice. That was cool. Um, my phone did die, so I had that millennials crisis of just being like, well, what am I gonna do if I can't be on my phone for like 30 plus minutes? But I made the most of it. I watched some Judge Judy. That was stimulating, I guess. But yeah, we're back on. We're good. Let me see here. Food corner. We had Easter meal, Easter dinner. Yeah, actually, I had not I had plans. Those plans fell through, but I had forgot about Easter. And usually my family friends, they do an Easter thing, but they were kind of late in reminding me or sending me an invite because they're kind of just like, oh yeah, of course Isaiah's gonna keep that open. But I just completely forgot about the old Easter bunny Jesus stuff. So also happy Trans Visibility Day. I didn't realize that these days had correlated same day. So obviously, hip hop hooray for that. And I know I'm a terrible ally. I didn't shout out any women at all during Women's Month or Women's Day. So that's an F on my part. That's an L. I gotta take that. I gotta eat that. My bad. But yeah, let's see. What did I do? Like I said, I went to a family friend's. The meal was very yummy. We had some ham. We had potato salad. Let's see here. There was two kinds of pasta salad. One was the good one. The other one was gluten free. No, I didn't touch the gluten free one. I'm sure it was fine. I'm just, give me all the gluten. I'll take it. I'll take on all your gluten. Let's see. What else was there? There were some little Easter cookies, but I gotta say, full confession, I'm not a buskin cookie guy. I know a lot of people around here are, but I find them to be, once again, a bit stodgy, a bit chalky, a little bit, not my kind of cookie. Icing is all right, but let's see. There was a thing here, and my family friends, they are like Lebanese, Irish, and they always they be whipping in the kitchen. So there was deviled eggs too. They were also good. Um, so they be whipping in the kitchen, and they'll put out some stuff that I've never seen before, and there was like this pasty bean looking thing, and they were kind of like joking or whatever. And the person who was cooking, they were like, well, I kind of had some problems, with the Instapot. I was thinking it was going to be like this. And it turned out it went wrong, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, oh, well, I mean, I'm sure it's okay. I'm sure it's all right. And, they're kind of like, they leave it as is. I'm hungry. I'm going to eat. So if you tell me this is good to go, it's totally fine. I'm going to try it. So I get like a couple of scoops of it. I'm trying it out, and I'm talking to another host, and I'm just like, this feels so familiar. Like this dish is just so familiar. And he's like, well, it's baked beans. You're probably tasting the baked bean. And I was like, oh, this is just baked beans. You just like kind of hit refried mode on them, and it all kind of hit me, and I felt very dumb. But it was good. It was yummy. It was like a bean paste, whoops a daisy. But I mean, it just went down easier. Liquid bean, if you will. But yeah, that was my Easter Sunday. That was my Monday. It was overall a couple of fun days. That being said, I'm gonna do the newsy shout out. It is the top of the month. And I gotta say here, no April Fooling. I think this is gonna be the last time I do the shout outs for a while. I think I want to kind of recalibrate it or something and like wait to see if we get like more people or something. No worries, no hesitations. Y'all know I'm an amateur hour guy. I just do this shit for the fun, the love of the game. So never ever feel compelled to give if you can't. No worries. But if you can, that tip jar is always going to be open. We always got some old episodes if you want to peruse the wares. But let me go ahead and give out my couple of shout outs. Denver McIntosh and Edward Haas. Thank you so much for being newsies. I love you guys so much. If you guys ever want any extra shout outs or any love or whatever, y'all know y'all can either hit the Patreon or just crawl into my DMs, whatever. I love y'all. And I love all my listeners, period, point blank, no matter what. Y'all come here and listen to me yap on a potentially daily basis. That shit cray. But yeah, let me go ahead and do my startup, and then we'll go ahead and get into some news. Go ahead and do the coverage. Ooh, yeah. Okay. From Reuters. Israeli troops exit Gaza's Shifa hospital, leaving rubble and bodies. Israeli forces left Al-Shifa hospital, in Gaza City on Monday after a 2-week operation by special forces who detained hundreds of suspected Palestinian militants and left a wasteland of destroyed buildings. With access to Gaza's biggest hospital severely restricted, the Israeli and Palestinian versions differed sharply. So, of course, throughout a lot of this article, they're like, "Oh, we couldn't verify all the bodies we saw in these articles and this, that, and the third." So, essentially, it's the journalistic hey, we're throwing our hands up, we don't know, but here's what we have. Palestinian officials called the raid on a hospital treating severely wounded patients a war crime, while Israeli officials said special forces units conducted a targeted strike against a Hamas stronghold deliberately located among vulnerable civilians. Ismail, Al-Talbata, director of the Hamas-run Gaza media office, said Israeli forces had killed 400 Palestinians in and around the hospital, including a woman doctor and her son, also a doctor, and put the facility out of action. I believe from the IDF Israel perspective, they're saying, hey, we killed or detained about 200 or more Hamas militants, and it was a very successful operation. They were housing, Hamas terrorists, so we had to do what we had to do. We had to bomb them. We had to run tanks in. We had to send in soldiers with guns, on innocent patients and civilians because, we for sure had to get these terrorists. And they're for sure there. We got all the evidence to prove it. Here we've shown you multiple times because they run through these stupid lame-ass fucking videos where they're like, hey, see, look, there was a gun next to an MRI machine. You do the math on that, but whatever, fine, okay, because at the end of the day, they're going to keep fucking getting away with it. It's very frustrating. It's very sad that people who have nowhere to go, they're like, I listened to a person who was like, I tried to go to a school for shelter. Obviously I had to flee my fucking home, but now I'm back here and I can't be here. There's nothing here. People came back to try to get what belongings they had to leave when they were forced to leave. And, sure enough, there's just nothing to recover. So, my heart goes out to the Palestinian people. It's a shame that this shit goes on and on and on, and the best you can get from these Western powers is just oh, we're with you. We're so mad at Israel, but meanwhile, the Biden administration is greenlighting more money, more fucking lethal aid. I don't know how else to fucking word it. I feel like you say that with the Ukraine situation, that makes sense and is totally palatable, goes down the throat. I don't know. But we're going to give you guys money for fucking F-16s or F-16 money, whatever the fuck it is. And sure enough, we're going to try to work that through Congress. Oh, yes. So, of course. Thank you so much. I'm sure the IDF needs it. They need it so bad. They're struggling. Oh, by the way, there was 2 IDF soldiers, I guess, who died amongst the IDF count, the Israeli count. So there's that. Yeah. I'm riffing through this shit. By all means, feel free to read this for yourself. You can trust and verify and, go through this fucking muck. But yeah, let's go ahead and hit the next bump. I feel good about it. You know what I mean. As good as you can about these fucking dark fucking subjects. From CNN. Exclusive. Hacker stole Russian prisoner database to avenge death of Navalny. Excuse me. Within hours of opposition leader Alexei Navalny's death in February, in a Russian prison, a group of anti-Kremlin hackers went looking for revenge. Using their access to a computer network tied to a Russian prison system, to Russia's prison system, the hackers plastered a photo of Navalny on the hacked prison contractor's website, according to interviews with the hackers, screenshots, and data reviewed by CNN. Long live Alexei Navalny read a message on the hacked website, accompanied by a photo of Navalny and his wife, Yulia, at a political rally. That's the photo I have in the thumbnail. In a stunning breach of security, they also appear to have stolen a database containing information of hundreds of thousands of Russian prisoners and their relatives and contacts, including, the hackers claim, data on prisoners in the Arctic penal colony where Navalny died on February 16th. Let's see here. What else I wanted to pull? In addition, the hackers used their access to the Russian prison system's online commissary, where family members buy food for inmates, to change the prices of things like noodles and canned beef to 1 ruble, which is roughly 1 penny. The ruble's real strong. They're really bouncing back. According to screenshots and videos of purchases from the online store posted by the hackers. Normally, those goods cost over $1. I mean, essentially, this is like a very much a worldwide practice. Like, any of your prisons are going to tax the fuck out of the inmates for the things that they need, the goods that they need to eat and, live, the basic necessities. So to me, this hack is so goddamn good. I love it. This is filed under hacktivism, kind of a trendy terminology, but this is the kind of white hat hacking, if you will, or rogue hacking that like is, for good or whatever. I'm about it. I like it. Granted, they definitely aim and, say, hey, yeah, fuck Putin, all that shit, which I'm totally about. Fuck Putin. That being said, though, this shit kind of got me thinking, because it kind of goes back to, some of the stuff I was kind of talking with some of the people with dinner. Like, don't get me wrong, I am not a fan of any of the shit that Putin has done, any of the shit the Kremlin has done, top brass at Russia. They'll boo, Tomato Town. But I do think the idea of saying, oh, man, if we just got rid of Putin, this would just solve everything. If we just, if he was just gone, he's gone, done, then Russia would be good and everything would work and be all right. And it's like, I don't know about that. I feel like most likely whoever fills that vacuum is probably going to do maybe potentially the same kind of things. As much as I would love for it to be someone like Navalny, I just don't know. I don't think so. And then also, Russia still winds up playing in the same position geopolitically. They're still always the ooga wooga bad guy to, the West, and we're always going to try to find a reason to make them that and keep them that. And not to mention, of course, sometimes they do wind up taking the bait and doing the shit, like the war in Ukraine, I should say. So yeah, I found this to be a very interesting story. Of course, I couldn't help myself. It's got hacking, it's got Russia, it's got everything. So of course I was gonna cover it, but I felt the need to kind of say that too, because once again, that was like kind of dinner table talk, which. Kind of getting even more personal. Something I find that, like, when I'm in public, it is, and maybe, other people are better at this shit, more braver than me, but, like, it is sometimes hard for me to, like, say this shit out loud. I do find myself, like, almost, like, on fledgling knees. Like, I don't know exactly, am I saying it right or whatever, but, like, I'm trying to get better at that. I feel like, and sometimes, yeah, maybe it's not the best time to do it, but it is nice to actually talk about the shit with other people, not just a microphone and my computer, and hopefully you guys are just hearing me, you know what I mean? But like actually, talking about this shit, actually like kind of getting in the mix with other people, and it's nice. But yeah, overall, it's nice to talk about this shit with my friends, especially, and loved ones, because overall they're really cool, and I might be coming off a little bit off or a little bit too beatnik for them, maybe, but they are very engaging in a very positive way, which I appreciate. So yeah, there's that. Kind of keeping on a Russian note, a Russian beat. We've talked about this before, and it's one of my favorite subjects. It's actually the first time I ever got guff was talking about Havana syndrome. So yeah, it is a fun topic for me. I hold it close to my heart, in my head, in my tummy. Oh, it's hurting. Oh no. Okay. From Politico. Havana syndrome linked to Russian military agency GRU or GRU. Unlike the anti-hero villain, whatever Steve Carell's playing. I love that. I do love Despicable Me. I'm sorry, I had to get into it. I had to say it. Investigation indicates. Let's see here. The worldwide phenomenon of unexplained health incidents known as Havana syndrome may be linked to Russia's military intelligence agency GRU, according to a wide-ranging investigation published by The Insider, 60 Minutes, and Der Spiegel. Members of the Kremlin's infamous military intelligence sabotage squad have been placed at the scene of suspected attacks on overseas U.S. Government personnel and their family members. The Inside, which is based in Riga, Latvia, writes, in the past decade, more than 100 cases of unexplained health incidents have been recorded worldwide, affecting American spies, diplomats, military officers, contractors, and in some cases, their spouses, children, and pets. Dubbed Havana syndrome after what was initially thought to be the first patient, a CIA agent in the Cuban capital was affected in 2016. Symptoms include ringing in the ears, chronic headaches, and lasting psychophysiological impairment. Like, this shit got deep. Motherfuckers are like, dude, I just got so fucked up, and like, I think something happened. Like, I'm not sure if they put something in my room, or there was some kind of energy weapon that was aimed there. Like, it's literally like people are acting like Russia has ray guns, and they are aiming them at operatives and their family members and giving them, ooh, tummy pain. Oh gosh, I'm never gonna make it. I gotta go. Abort. Like, I'm sorry. Like, this is not enough evidence to me. I mean, maybe Isaiah, do more research, dig deeper. You'll see the truth. Maybe Der Spiegel can show me, and once again, put the ray gun in a groom agent's hand, so that way I can understand that this really is Call of Duty, and he does have the ray gun, and like, what are we gonna do about that? But we're not there because I haven't seen it, so I don't know. This just feels like, oh, maybe you just got a lot going on, Mr. Operative, Mr. Operative's wife or husband. Like, it's okay. It's all right to be anxious. I too struggle with anxiety and or depression, and sometimes I do. My head hurts too. Sometimes you're drinking the water and you're in a new place and it's like, oh no, ooh, bubble guts. I just don't know if we can blame Russia for that. Not yet. I'm sorry. That's just where I'm at. That's where the podcast is gonna sit. But you know me. I just couldn't help myself. I had to yap about this shit. Havana Unana. But yeah, I mean, I guess the spin continues, the push continues. We're really going to try to say that, Russia is doing this shit. And I mean, I'm all ears. I just want to see more proof. Saying these guys are in the area and we tag them, we know they're there, we have their location. Okay, but do you have them doing the shit? You're just saying that this is what they do and you want me to connect those dots for you. And I'm just not going to do it. Sorry. But by all means, once again, give me more. I got nothing but time. That's it. I feel like I've done it. I've called it. Once again, if you have any proof, any evidence, if you know someone who has been a victim of Havana syndrome, by all means, hit my line. IsaiahNews1@gmail.com. There you go. You do that, and I will take on your story. Maybe I'll even put you on the pod. God damn. But yeah, okay. We're almost done. I have some good news I want to cover. But before I do that, let me go ahead and take my last break. And then we'll go ahead and celebrate. Celebrate! I wish I could say celebrate in German. That'd be cool. Someone tell me how to say that. I could look it up, but once again, I'm lazy. Oh, yeah. Okay. From the Associated Press. Ooh. Germany has legalized possession of small amounts of cannabis. Not everyone is mellow about that. Germany. Germany. Um, Marijuana campaigners in Germany lit celebratory joints on Monday as the country legalized possession of small amounts of cannabis for recreational use over objections from doctors and police. Oh no! The German Cannabis Association, which campaigned for the new law, staged a smoke in at Berlin's landmark Brandenburg Gate when the law took effect at midnight. Other public consumption events were scheduled throughout the country, including one in front of the Cologne Cathedral and others in Hamburg, Resenberg, and Dortmund. Dortmund. Ooh, cool word. I went the wrong way. Scroll down. Germany becomes the third European Union country to legalize cannabis for personal use after Malta and Luxembourg. Okay, come on, EU. Let's get those numbers up. Like, that's crazy to me that there aren't more. I know, like, what is it? When we're talking like Amsterdam, I think technically, like, it's illegal, but like it's okay in the cafes to like a certain amount that you can buy out of there, smoke there. But even there, they're being like super fuddy duddies about that. And technically, that's not Germany. Of course, we're just talking about Europe in general. But it does remind me that like European isn't so cool about this. It's so funny to hear like some of these guys' defenses about it, like, oh, like I need to stop using this accent. I'm sorry. Like if we allow weed to be legal, these guys are going to just like the black market's going to infect the legal market, and they're just going to actually take advantage. It's going to be actually bad. But let me read some more of the stats. The new law legalizes possession by adults of up to 25 grams, nearly 1 ounce, of marijuana for recreational purposes and allows individuals to grow up to 3 plants of their own. Use is prohibited within 100 meters or 109 yards of the entrance to a playground or school. Those are pretty common. Make sure you keep it away from the kids. German residents age 18 and older will be allowed to join nonprofit cannabis clubs with a maximum of 500 members, each starting on July 1st. Individuals will be allowed to buy up to 25 grams a day or maximum 50 grams per month. A figure limited to 30 grams for people under the age of 21. Membership in multiple clubs won't be allowed. Now, this is what I'm saying where I heard a guy griping about like he thinks the black market's going to infect these clubs and like infiltrate these clubs and like do nefarious shit. And it's like, no, dude, like that's like the same kind of shit I heard like 10 years ago, except it was kind of inverted. What I was hearing, you would get like these cherry picked dealers who were like so scared, like, oh my God, I'm going to like be put out of business by legal weed. Most people who deal in weed are only doing enough to support their own habit. They do not care about their shit. They would love legal weed. They're happy to have it. That way they don't have to fucking deal with all the fucking riffraff and they can just buy weed. And at the end of the day, if they're going to do their illegal action, they're more or less just doing it for minor profit. Essentially, the only person getting scammed here or stolen from here is most likely the government because they're not getting their tax revenue out of it. Oh, boo-hoo-hoo. But at the end of the day, it gives the customer the option to be like, hey, maybe I don't want to buy quote unquote black market weed. I don't want to buy weed off the street where I don't know where it came from. I'd like to buy weed that I know is like, medically grown. Like we know where it came from. We can source it all the way. Like it's nice to be able to have that. I know as a local Ohioan, that was a very cool thing to have medically. And I've said before that I'm obviously very stoked that it's finally legal now, like recreationally, and it's great. I mean, granted, we're still not seeing the full effects of that yet. We don't have like dispensaries open selling recreational weed like to anyone, but we're hopefully gonna get there, and I'm very excited about that. And I'm always cool to see any country, any state do the same thing. So kudos, clap it up. We love to fucking see it. Go ahead and burn one, turn one for them. So hell yeah. Let's see. I feel like that's it. I feel like we're gonna call it covered for there. Like I said, if you'd like to help out, support the effort, I do have a Patreon, patreon.com, Isaiah News. Free ways to hit me up, isaiahnews1@gmail.com. Feel free to follow me or the podcast on the socials. Also, another free way to contact me. And hopefully subscribe to the YouTube. Really helps out a lot. hit the like button, leave a cool comment. Reviews on any other platform are always great. 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars, or max them out, whatever. And sharing is caring. But yeah, hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love you. Bye bye. Mwah.